Hey everybody, Zach again at NewToTorah.com, coming in making a video for you today. Everyone's talking about the European Union and Great Britain getting out of the EU, and the question comes up, and there's a lot of people talking about it, folks, but what about the Bible? How does this relate to the Torah specifically? And there is really a way that this shows the validity of the Father's Word. Absolutely, 100%. And we're just going to go through that today. But first off, guys, this was predicted to fail. It has been predicted to fail a long time ago. And if the Father's Word is true, it was going to fail regardless. Okay, that's the same thing you're seeing here in America. America is going to fail. If it doesn't, the Father's Word is not true. And I have said this time and time again in my videos. It's about the monetary system. We have unjust weights and measures that this country's currency is made up of, and therefore it will fail. Same with the European Union. The euro is an unjust and unbalanced weight and measure. It just is. It's based off a rigged casino system, of their stock market, and it's not based on anything whatsoever. Now, what do I mean by that? First off, let's just go here. When you take a piece of silver or a piece of gold and you have that in your hands, there is a weight on it. And the first mention of kasef, meaning silver or currency, money, in your Torah is in Genesis. When Abraham, he said he became rich in silver and in gold. Well, that silver, kasef, is money, has always been money. All throughout the ages of humankind has been money. And you see, the way when you traded was based on weights and measures. You weighed that money, you weighed that silver. It was balanced in such a way so that you knew how much was there. Okay, today you take a silver coin, it says 1 ounce or half ounce or 2 ounces or a quarter ounce or a tenth of an ounce if it's gold or something. You know how much is there. Okay, and today, even today, you can go out and find pieces of silver that are unjustly weighed. I even did a video on one, where it was fake silver, or there's other coins that they try to pass off as a full ounce, but it's not. And so there are unjust weights and measures even in silver today. But see, that's how you know what is real. You can test it. It's justified by the measure and by the weight. And the Torah tells us to have, the correct and honest weights and measures, balances, so that you don't rip people off. Don't be caught ripping people off. Keep in your bag a just weight, measurement, and so many of you probably don't even do that. You have these dollar bills in your pocket, and they're based off a casino system called our stock market and our monetary system, which, the Fed, which really isn't a government agency at all. There's nothing backing up that money. Nothing of weight and measure backing up that money. And every time this has been tried throughout humanity, it has failed. Why? I believe it's because of the validity of the Father's Word. European Union, based on an unjust weight and measure. And Margaret Thatcher, back in 1992, predicted that this would fail. Margaret Thatcher said, you cannot force people into a mold. They will rebel every single time. And she said centralized international schemes like single currencies were doomed to fail because we're all at different levels of development of our economies. Let me read that again. Centralized international schemes like currencies were doomed to fail because we're all at different levels of development of our economies. That means, folks, you can't take an economic powerhouse like Germany and all of its industrialized, they have an unbelievable industrialized infrastructure for their economy, and compare that with like Greece, which has a small agricultural base and a modest tourism industry. That's it. That's all they produce. Nothing else. And you're going to put them on the same currency? It's going to fail. Every single time. You take the United States, and this is why the United States will fail at some point. Because you have basically economic powerhouses like California and Detroit at one time. Michigan at one time, and some of the, Pennsylvania with its huge industrialized base that it had at one time, and compare that to something like, Arkansas with nothing, and you're putting them on the same monetary system, it's going to fail, and it will fail. The United States, you take a look at currencies throughout history, it's unbelievable that we haven't failed already, and it's only because the economic powers of our country today have put Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band-Aid on our economy to make sure it doesn't fail. I thought for sure we were going down the tubes in 2008. Didn't happen. But, it's going to at some point because the Father's word will remain true. These currencies are unjust, they're unweighted, they're not correct. It's not based on anything. It's not based on silver and gold. It's based on whatever the government powers say it's worth, based on their markets, which are basically just a casino. It goes against the Father's word, and it will fail every single time. It has failed every single time it's been tried, and it will fail again. It's going to fail for this country. And so that's what you have at the European Union. Now, what was the tipping point? I mean, the European Union has been going for, 20 years now on this. And so what was the tipping point? The tipping point was immigration. Immigration came in, and everything's off the table. The people had had enough. They just weren't going to take it anymore. They saw most of their countries turning into, Islam. Britain was just the first one to go, but the other ones are going to go too. Greece may leave, Sweden may leave. All these different countries are just ready to just say enough. They can't have it anymore because the people at the top in Brussels and in Germany are wanting all this immigration to come through, and it's just, they can't, the people don't want it. So this was doomed to fail from the beginning. Margaret Thatcher said that in 1992. It's now come to fruition. And really, folks, what it really comes down to is it proves the validity of the Father's word. Unjust weights and measures. Having the correct balance in your bag. Trading fairly. When that silver coin or that silver ring back in the days of old was cast, if it was cast correctly, it was cast justly with a correct weight and measurement so that you didn't rip each other off. People dealt, honestly with each other. And today, the economies of the world, most of them, are not dealing honestly with each other and with their people. And that will fail every single time, and that proves the validity of the Father's word. All right, we'll leave it at that. Go home, read your Bible. Thanks.